Listen to me for a moment. I'm 82. My name is Henry. For nearly 50 years, I misunderstood what responsibility really meant. I focused on doing my job, and in the process, I erased a man. I was a municipal archivist for the city, not a historian, not a researcher. An archivist. My job was to take the boxes the various departments sent down, assessment rolls, permit applications, meeting minutes, and make them fit. My kingdom was a basement room with no windows, just the hum of dehumidifiers and the smell of old paper. My daily routine was concrete. I would receive a box. I would sort the contents into chronological order. I would assign it a Dewey-esque local code, type that code onto a label, and fix it to the box's spine. Then I would log that code into a giant leather-bound ledger. And finally, I would wheel the box to its ordained place on one of the endless steel shelves. My flaw wasn't arrogance. It was a profound, bureaucratic sense of duty. My responsibility was to the system, to the order of it all. The system was fragile. You see, if one box was out of place, the whole intellectual structure could collapse. That's what I believed. The conflict came in 1978. The city was modernizing, a new commissioner. Young, with sharp suits, decided our paper ledger was a relic. We were to transfer every record, every single one, to a new microfilm system. It was a huge, multi-year project. My job was to prepare the boxes, ensure the documents were in perfect order for the filming technicians. Any duplicate, any misfiled page, any document deemed non-essential was to be pulled and set aside for destruction. The rule was clear. If it didn't have direct, ongoing administrative or legal value, it was clutter. It was taking up space. Any reasonable person would have done the same. My job was to protect the core record, not preserve sentimental clutter. One day, I was processing boxes from the old Parks Department shed, mostly work orders, equipment invoices. And then I found them, intermixed with receipts for fertilizer, were hundreds of small cardstock squares. They were planning notes, handwritten. Each one had a date, a location, Norwood Park, southeast bed, a flower type, and a few words. Planted late, frost risk, clay soil amended. Thriving, but watch for black spot. They were signed with a looping E. Petrovich Elias, I later learned. Elias Petrovich, he'd been the park's head gardener from 1946 to 1962. These weren't official documents. They were one man's conversation with the soil. According to the new rules, they had no administrative value. They were duplicates of information that existed more cleanly in the formal annual planting schedules. I remember holding a handful of them. The pencil was smudged, soft. I almost kept them. But then I thought of the system, the clean, efficient, new system. The filming was behind schedule. Keeping these would mean creating a separate, anomalous collection. It would be a breach of protocol. So, I did my job. I pulled every one of Petrovich's notes and placed them in the discard bin. I remember a young technician, maybe 20, asking what they were. I said, botanical ephemera, not for retention. He just nodded and wheeled the bin away. The consequence was immediate relief. The Parks Department boxes filmed perfectly. They were uniform. They took up less space. The project moved on. Years passed. Decades Petrovich, he'd retired years before I ever touched his notes. He died, I heard, sometime in the late 80s. No one accused me of anything. I'd followed procedure to the letter. I'd optimized. I'd saved the city storage fees, the object. I didn't even mean to keep it. One of his cards must have stuck to the bottom of another file. I found it in my work satchel a week later. It read, the 12th of October, 1959, Memorial Grove. Tulip bulbs, queen of night, planted deep for the quiet ones. I shrugged, almost tossed it, but it became a bookmark in my ledger. Then, later, in a book at home, it just traveled with me. The realization didn't hit me. It seeped in. It was about 3 years ago. A woman contacted the archives, a granddaughter. She was writing a family history. Her grandfather, Elias Petrovich, had immigrated, had built beauty. She'd heard rumors of his notes. Did we have any record of his thoughts? I searched the beautiful, clean microfilm database. I found the formal schedules. Tulip bulbs, 200, Memorial Grove. That was it. The system held the what, but it had been designed. I had been designed to discard the why. I had the only why right in my pocket, worn soft as felt. I had to tell her, no, the records didn't exist. I was there, in that basement, when the decision was made. But my attention was aimed at the integrity of the filing system, not at the integrity of a man's life's work. I wasn't malicious. I was aligned with the process. The process that asked, is this efficient? Not, does this matter? The lesson isn't about archives. It's about where you aim your attention right now. It's the phone you check during your child's story, because you're optimizing a moment of downtime. It's the efficient reply to a colleague's long email, where you address only the actionable items and ignore the hint of strain in their words. It's staying so diligently in your lane at work that you never see the person slowly drowning in the lane next to you. We are all archivists of our own lives, sorting moments into essential and discard. The system we serve is one of productivity, of streamlined communication, of measurable outcomes. So I have to ask you, and you don't have to answer me. Just ask yourself, when you look at your partner, is your attention on them or on managing their needs so the evening runs smoothly? When you finish a task, is your relief about the human connection made or about the checkmark placed in the app? What or who are you, in the name of order and reasonableness, quietly placing in the discard bin? You'll never be accused. The system will thank you for your efficiency. And one day, 40 years from now, someone might ask you for a record of a feeling, a nuance, a quiet intention, and you'll have to say it no longer exists. You were there. But your attention was aimed somewhere else. If this made you pause for just a second If you looked up from this screen and just listened to the silence of your own room, then maybe that's enough. That's all I wanted. You don't have to like the video. You don't have to subscribe. But if it resonated, maybe pass it on to someone else who might understand, someone who might be aiming their attention a little too rigidly. Just like I did. I have another one. About a key I kept for a neighbor who never came back for it. It's not dramatic. It's just about a key. Maybe I'll tell you that one sometime. For now, thank you for listening.